Hello, everyone. I'm Pastor Nick Gentile. I'm the founder of Compassion Match, and by the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, I have a great show for you today. I will be interviewing Patrick Hubert. Now, Patrick was born and raised in Mount Clemens, Michigan, and is a patient at the Henry Ford Transplant Institute. He is an End Stage Renal Disease, chronic kidney disease stage 4B. It's a very, very serious condition, and is in need of a generous and compassionate person who's willing to come forward and be tested for him to see if they're eligible to be a living donor for Patrick to save his life. Because this is no joke, folks. You can die waiting for a kidney. I know a couple of people who have. I don't believe that's going to happen to Patrick, but this is a very serious, serious situation. And that's why we're doing this interview, to find a donor for Patrick. Now, at the same time, even though Patrick's condition is very serious, he's not currently on dialysis. And he's going to explain why later on in the show. And I'm interested to find out about that as well. So, but besides that, his blood type is O positive, as you see on the screen. His birthday is November 8th, 1969. That's actually the day of my parents' anniversary. So praise God for that. The last gentleman I interviewed, his birthday is the same as my mother's. So that's interesting. Now, Patrick used to be the network administrator for Huntington Banks of Michigan, as well as worked in mechanical engineering when it was GMF Robotics. It is now, how do you pronounce that? Fanuc or Fanuc or?
Fanuc.
Fanuc? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha. In scientific data management. Throughout that time, his family has owned historical buildings and since the age of 12 was involved in restoration and preservation. Now, however, he is unable to work because of his condition. When he was physically able, Patrick used to have a lot of hobbies. He obtained his private pilot's license at a young age, but lost it when he had eye surgery. He loved to play tennis, video games, work on and ride his motorcycles. He also used to garden and forage for edibles in Michigan, grow gourmet mushrooms, hike, and camp. He used to go hunting and fishing and kayaking and jet skiing and skydiving, bot static line, and free fall when he could, which wasn't a lot. So he was very, very active before he came down with this condition, before he developed this condition. And we want to see him go back to that, all the things he liked or loved to do before. He also donated his time to the local Salvation Army food center to help feed the hungry, did river cleanups, and participated at food banks and toys for burn victims at the bank. He's never done drugs or drank alcohol excessively. And Patrick will share his story with the hope that at least one special person will come forward and get tested to help give him the gift of life. Can't emphasize that enough. It's very important. Now about me, okay? Real quick, by the grace of God, as both a kidney and liver donor, I donated my kidney in July of 2019 and donated 70% of my liver in November of last year by the Lord's grace. I created Compassion Match to help people in need of a kidney transplant find living kidney donors, as well as to educate the public about chronic kidney disease and advocating for living kidney and liver donation. See, because I didn't want to just stop at donating. I wanted to help other people find donors and receive kidney donation, even liver donations. And I have some amazing projects in the works that I can't get into details about right now, but one in particular, I believe, when it eventually comes to fruition, is going to truly revolutionize the concept of connecting potential kidney and liver recipients and living organ donors. So stay tuned for that, guys. Now, quick, I want to talk about facts about chronic kidney disease and end-stage renal failure disease. According to the Kidney Fund, 37 million people in the U.S. are living with chronic kidney disease, also known as CKD. The term chronic kidney disease means lasting damage to the kidneys that can get worse over time. If the damage is very bad, your kidneys may stop working. This is called kidney failure or end-stage renal disease. This is unfortunately what Patrick is dealing with, and why it is so vitally important that as many people as possible come forward and get tested for him to increase his chances of finding a living kidney donor. And real quick, I like to do this when I do these broadcasts, show information from a really great website called Urban Kidney Alliance. And I'm going to share that page right now so people can see this information. They can read along with me. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that's showing. Yep. Okay, good. So it's the education page, and I'm going to highlight the part I'm going to read. I'm going to read this part. So knowledge is power. What is chronic kidney disease? Chronic kidney disease, or CKD, is a serious and growing public health problem in the U.S. CKD is a condition in which the kidneys become damaged, decreasing their ability to filter the blood and remove water and waste products. Wastes then build up in the blood, harming the body. When kidney function decreases to less than 15%, a patient has kidney failure. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight this part right here. Kidney failure that requires dialysis or kidney transplant is often referred to as End Stage Renal Disease, or ESRD. More than 20 million Americans aged 20 and older may have CKD. Although CKD is common, many Americans with the key risk factors such as diabetes and high blood pressure do not know they are at risk. In addition, the rising rates of diabetes and obesity will continue to fuel its growth as both conditions increase the risk of developing CKD and speed its progression. Therapies exist that can significantly slow the progression of CKD to kidney failure, particularly blood pressure control and use of medications, etc. So, real quick, I also want to show the book written by the gentleman that started this organization. His name is Steve Belcher. I like to support his organization. Here it is right there, How to Survive Outpatient Hemodialysis. And there's the description. There's a link to this page, I believe, in the description section of this video. If not, then go to urbankidneyalliance.com and you can read that information and purchase the book. So now let me take this off the screen. Okay. And with that said, I want to introduce Patrick Hubert for you guys. Patrick, thank you for agreeing to do this interview. How is your day gone so far?
Today has actually been a fairly good day. I have good days. I have good bad days. Today has been okay. At least as good as I can hope for. Absolutely. So thank you for asking, and thank you for having me, Pastor Nick.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a privilege and a pleasure. So what I want you to do is tell your story. This is about you. This is all about you and telling your story so people can hear what you're dealing with, because no one knows what you're dealing with but you.
Yeah, it's really hard to describe if you're not dealing with it.
Right.
But I get worn down all the time. Sometimes I can, walk like 10 feet and I get so tired that I get dizzy and I want to fall down, and I stumble. I have vision problems. And it's very difficult doing anything or trying to do anything with this type of a disease. It just wears on you constantly over and over and over until you're beat. And I've been beat. But I do have good days, where I can go for like maybe 15, 20 minutes doing something, and I take advantage of that. Other days you start, feeling energetic, and then you try something and then it just doesn't work out, so you can't really make plans. You can't really involve yourself in doing stuff, or count on yourself being there for yourself to do things. Sometimes, I hate to say this, but I throw up a lot. You get sick. And it's just really, really wearing on a person, mentally and physically. I hate the disease. I hate the fact that my body is really, like you described it, it's basically poisoning itself constantly, or allowing itself to get poisoned. And so today, like I said, I've been relatively okay. I am, I still haven't gotten dressed, but, and I apologize for that. But some days I can go for, like an hour or two. I often, can't depend on myself. I can't ride my motorcycles at all anymore, because in the middle of riding one, I can get dizzy or basically just lose my balance or something and I can't depend on myself as a rider anymore. So my motorcycle sits there and I stare at it every once in a while and wish that I could ride it again. Same thing with my kayak. I like to go kayaking and doing things like that, or I used to. And I just can't lift it up onto my vehicle anymore to take it or to carry it out to the water anymore. It's things like that. Going grocery shopping. I unfortunately live on an upstairs apartment, which has quite a lot of steps. Going up the steps are very steep. If I go shopping, I'll get dizzy if I even go to the store and walk, or if I try to carry my groceries up. Small things like that just, really get to you. It's day after day after day, time after time after time, and it gets very tiring. But that's how life is. And I appreciate that you have donated and other people have donated. There is just so much of a need for it. And I'm part of multiple groups that help, other donors and stuff like that come forward. And I see story after story of this happening. And it's heartbreaking. I mean, I see so many people in need, not just me, but many people. And I wonder to myself, do I even have a chance? I don't know. I hope so. I still maintain faith.
Amen. And what is the worst thing that you've experienced throughout this entire process? Well, when were you diagnosed with your conditions?
Oh, that's a good question. I was actually diagnosed not too long ago, as far as life goes. About 4 years ago, I was diagnosed. I've been a diabetic since for the last, or labeled a diabetic anyways, for about 30 years now. One day I was used to be a technician for a company called Scientific Data Management, as mentioned. And I was coming back from work one day and I was in the left-hand lane driving, and suddenly I woke up on the right-hand side of the shoulder of the road, and with some guy shaking me awake, asking me if I was okay. I totally blacked out at the time. And I weaved in between traffic and I survived that by the grace of the Lord. I didn't hit anybody or anything. And I stopped on the side of the road. And so I went to the doctors and I found out I was diabetic. And that's what caused me to black out, basically. From that point on, years after that, it did damage to my kidneys. And with the high blood pressure and everything else, the last 4 years, it got progressively and steadily worse, in a rapid fashion. And now, as you mentioned, I'm in stage 4B of CKG, ESRD, or End Stage Renal Disease, as it's called. And it's gotten steadily horrible. I mean, so it's been about 3-4 years, I would say, that things have gotten really bad.
Okay. And what is the worst thing that you've experienced out of all of this, all the stuff you've lost, not being able to work, the physical pain? What's the worst thing you've experienced?
I would have to say, honestly, and I've thought about this, the worst thing I think is the fact that I cannot depend on myself. A person, I'm used to being able to do something and know what I can do and know what my limits are. Here, I have no idea what my limits are. I try, to do something and I'll fail, or I just won't be able to do it. And it happens so quickly when, I get worn down that you cannot almost compensate for it. So all my friends and everything like that, I can't dedicate time to hang out or do things I used to do. I can't even play a video game if I wanted to anymore. I can't practice, my saxophone, my guitar. I play a number of musical instruments. And I can't dedicate time to do that because I never know when this is going to strike. and how it's going to affect me.
Right. So, guys, you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen the contact information for Patrick's kidney outreach coordinator. He's listed at Henry Ford Transplant Institute. The number is 1-313-651-1056. Again, Patrick is O positive blood type. So to get tested for him, please give his transplant coordinator a call as soon as possible. Her name is it Alyssa or Alicia?
I think it's Alicia.
Alicia LANDRUM. She's an RN. She's the kidney outreach coordinator. The number is there. Give her a call and get the ball rolling on getting tested for Patrick.
I would like to mention,
yes,
if I could, Nick,
sure.
That even though my blood type is type O positive, a lot of people may not know that a lot of kidney donation centers like my own have a program that if you do not match me specifically and are a donor, then they will find a match for somebody else that you fit and that may have a donor who is a match for me and do a type of swap. I think that is very important because it allows two people to get helped as opposed to just one, first of all. But it also works with any donor, could be a godsend to me. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to get into that, but that's great that you mentioned that because that's a very important bit of information that the viewers of this broadcast need to know. What Patrick is talking about, and I'm going to get into more detail about it in a little bit, is called the Paired Kidney Exchange or Kidney Paired Exchange Program. And I think at this point, when I started this process, it took me 10 and a half years to be able, by the Lord's grace, when he finally opened the door for me to donate my kidney. So I dealt with a lot of hospitals in that time. And when I started this, most hospitals that I was aware of did, or they may have, but it wasn't as popular or as well established, the Paired Kidney Exchange Program. Now it's pretty much, I think, at every hospital, including yours, and we're going to touch on
it. It just makes sense. I mean, It just makes a lot of sense to do it that way.
Right. Absolutely. And so, again, I want you right now, actually, but I'll say this, again, get in touch with Patrick's coordinator, get the ball rolling on the testing process. His kidney outreach coordinator will be able to help you with all the information you need to know to get the process started. What I want you to talk about now is, in light of your really serious health condition, your medical condition, you're not on dialysis, which is very unusual from my experience from communicating with potential kidney recipients, people with end stage renal disease or, kidney failure. Talk about why that is that you're not on dialysis.
Well, my nephrologist actually has wanted me to get the operation done, the tubes put in me to go on dialysis now for 2 months. I'll say that outright. Since the beginning of the year, really. The reason I haven't is because I hate to say this, but I'm scared of it. I'm afraid of it. Part of me is afraid really to even admit I have this problem, even though I know I do. And I'm sort of dealing with that. But majorly, if a person gets on dialysis, from what I am to understand, and my doctor has told me, the longer a person is on dialysis, the less successful the transplant can be. And so I am trying to basically put it off, first of all, to be able to do what little I can without the tubes in me. Because once you get the tubes in you can't get wet, which means even if I have a good day, I can't get out, take my kayak out, even with help of somebody else, or do other normal things that I want to do or try to do. So I am trying to delay that as long as possible, honestly. I mean, I know I'm going to have to get it done, and we've already talked about it numerous times. I will be doing probably the dialysis at home. It's one that they send, and you get hooked up to the machine all night long in order to filter your blood for you. And that's creepy to me. I mean, it's a lot to deal with, but that is why I'm not doing it right now, or why I currently am not doing it right now.
Right. And explain to people, how is your blood being cleansed? How are the toxins being filtered out without being on dialysis?
Well, that's a good question. Right now, my kidney is evidently at 15%. That means it filters, I guess, 15% successfully my blood, and I can still go to the bathroom, which is your urine and your bodily waste. I hate to be disgusting and talk about that, but
No,
yes.
that's fine. People need to hear it. Yeah.
And so I can still do that a little bit, 15% capacity, so to speak. So I changed my diet massively. I lower my, intakes of potassiums. I take many medications. And I mean, we're like a lot of medications. And I try to keep it as low as possible and as healthy as I can right now in this stage. My nephrologist did mention that she wants me to get this done, because to get the tubes and everything put in you, it takes multiple months to heal and to actually be effective before it actually needs to be used. So if I have an emergency situation, which could happen any time, then I could have to go to emergency kidney filtration, which is a lot more serious of a deal. But at this time, I'm sort of taking the risk because I just want to try to push it as far as I can go, I guess.
Right. Absolutely. So now what I want to do is I want to get into the 3 possible ways that you guys can help Patrick receive a life-saving kidney. I want to start off with this specific page that I want to share that's going to go into detail about the kidney donation process. And I know this very, very well. Like I said, I spent 10.5 years attempting to donate one of my kidneys. But I'm going to share this page. I think this is essential for people to take a look at so they get an idea of what the process entails. Okay. Okay, make sure that's showing. It is showing. Okay. So this is the kidneyfund.org page. This link is in the link to this page is in the description section of this video. Take a look at it. Check it out. So I want to read some of the information from this page. I'm not going to delve into all of it. What you'll find on this page is about being a living kidney donor, benefits and risks of living kidney donation, and living donor surgery. So what I want to do is I want to touch on being a living kidney donor and living donor surgery. And I would encourage everyone else who is interested in helping Patrick to read the rest of it, which is the benefits and risks of living kidney donation. So let's start at the top here. I'm going to highlight this. Nearly 100,000 people are on the waiting list for a kidney transplant. Many more people are waiting for a kidney than for all other organs combined. Unfortunately, the number of people waiting for kidneys is much larger than the number of available kidneys from living and deceased donors. You can save a life by being a kidney donor. Okay, so I want to go down here, highlight this part. If you have 2 healthy kidneys, you may be able to donate one of your kidneys to enhance or save someone else's life. Both you and the recipient of your kidney, the person who got your kidney, can live with just one healthy kidney. If you are interested in living kidney donation, contact the transplant center where a transplant candidate is registered. And again, you see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen, the information for Patrick's transplant coordinator. You can call that number. He's listed at the Henry Ford Transplant Institute, and she will help you to get started with the process. And I can attest to the fact that I've been able to live a perfectly healthy life, not only after donating my kidney, but after donating my liver. So that is absolutely the case with most people who donate. They don't have any significant issues or any issues at all. Now, there are potential risks or ramifications that, I mean, with any surgery, there is the potential for that. But for the most part, if you're healthy enough to donate, you'll be healthy enough after you donate. Okay. So again, you'll need to have an evaluation at the transplant center to make sure that you are a good match for the person you want to donate to and that you are healthy enough to donate. If you are, and I'm going to highlight this part, if you are a match, healthy and willing to donate, you and the recipient can schedule the transplant at a time that works for both of you. If you are not a match for the intended recipient, but still want to donate your kidney so that the recipient can receive a kidney that is a much paired kidney exchange, that is a match, paired kidney exchange may be an option for you. And there's this video you can take a look at called entitled The Benefits of Living Kidney Donation. Okay. And then this talks about another way to donate a kidney while you are alive is to give a kidney to someone you do not necessarily know. This is called living non-directed donation. If you are interested in donating a kidney to someone you do not know, the transplant center might ask you to donate a kidney when you are matched for someone who is waiting for a kidney in your area or as part of a kidney paired donation. You will never be forced to donate. And that's what I did. And I'll get into that part in a little bit. Now, I want to scroll down. Make sure you take a look at the benefits and the risks, but I want to keep this moving. Now, this is what you are to expect from the testing process and the surgery. If you want to be a living donor, you will need to have a medical exam with blood tests to be sure you are healthy enough to donate a kidney. Some of the tests needed may include blood tests, urine tests, a pap smear or gynecological exam for a woman, colonoscopy if over age 50, screening tests for cancer, antibody test, an x-ray, so they talk about a chest x-ray in particular, electrocardiogram or EKG, which looks at your heart, and other image testing like a CAT scan. You are also required to meet with a psychologist and an independent living donor advocate to be sure you are mentally and emotionally ready to donate one of your kidneys. If you are found to be healthy and your antibodies and blood type are well matched to the person getting your kidney, you may be approved to donate your kidney. Now, this is the final part, and this is important. And this is how the surgery is done with me. Most kidney transplant surgeries are done laparoscopically. A laparoscopic surgery is a new surgery method that uses very small cuts on the body and a thin lighted tube to look inside the body. In a laparoscopic kidney donor surgery, the surgeon makes small cuts on the donor's stomach and the kidney is removed through an incision just big enough for it to fit through. This operation takes 2 to 3 hours. For me, it took longer, but 2 to 3 hours. And a kidney donor usually spends 1 to 3 days in the hospital recovering. The recovery period after laparoscopic surgery is much shorter than after a traditional open surgery. Like the liver transplant surgery I had was an open surgery. So, I mean, it took longer for me to recover than when after I donated my kidney, had the kidney transplant surgery. There are also fewer complications with laparoscopic surgery. Before the use of laparoscopic surgery, the kidney was removed from a larger open cut, causing a longer recovery period for the patient compared to the laparoscopic method. And I will tell you this, if in fact you are blessed and you're healthy enough and you're chosen as the donor for Patrick, okay, once you have the surgery, after that, you will want to make sure that you request to be in the hospital 2 or 3 days. Not after one, not being discharged after one. I can tell you this. I was discharged after being in the hospital 1 day, and it was not pleasant at all. After I was, because you're in the hospital, you're drugged up. Okay. Let me take this off the screen. You're drugged up. You're feeling good. You feel confident. Like, yeah, I can go home. When they ask you, do you want to go home? Yeah, I can go home. But once you go home, that's when the pain will start hitting you in terms of the gas buildup, the gas pain. So to me, that was much worse than the incision pain. So if you're blessed to be chosen as the donor and you're in the hospital and they ask you if you want to go home after 1 day, say, no, I want to make it at least 2. And then after the second day, if you're still not feeling right, request a 3rd day and they will comply. They will help you out. They'll oblige.
And
so
I'd like to mention something also, Nick.
Sure.
With my transplant team, the Henry Ford kidney transplant team, first of all, they have a 99.05% success rate, which is excellent. And then on top of that, I believe, and you can check into this, when you are a donor, they give compensation for various things that you go through, as well as possibly time off work. So take the time off, do the 3 days, relax in the hospital, like you said, and get better. And thank you for saving my life. I mean, for those 3 days.
Amen. And that's right. I'm going to get into that as well. You're on the ball, brother. You are definitely on the ball. But that's something else I'm going to touch on. The benefits and the protections and stuff you have in terms of time off work, insurance, reimbursement of funds and other things. So I'm going to get into that. But that's excellent that you brought that up. That's absolutely true. Take your time, and they're going to tell you, don't rush back to work. You need to make sure everything's good. You have a weight lifting restriction or limitation after you do this, because it's still a surgery in your torso, and it's major surgery. You're having an organ removed from your body and transplanted into someone else's body, but you live a perfectly healthy life. Again, if you're healthy enough to donate, you'll be fine afterwards.
You look good. You look great.
Yeah, by the Lord's grace, and I'm a double organ donor. As long as you're healthy enough, you'll be fine. Next, I want to get into blood type compatibility. This is very, very important, because not everyone can donate to everyone directly. And that's why we talked about the paired kidney exchange program, which is a cross match. And I'm going to get into that. But it's, if you're not blood type compatible with Patrick, you wouldn't be able to donate to him directly. But we're going to look at that right now. Blood type compatibility, for the people who are not aware of the different blood types and who can donate to who.
Yeah, I found it ironic that O positive blood type can give to pretty much anybody, but only can receive from a certain amount of blood types.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. Very funny. So what blood types match? Okay, this is what we're going to take a look at. And blood typing is the first blood test that will determine if your blood is compatible with the potential donor's blood. If the donor's blood type works with your blood type, the donor will take the next blood test, or tissue typing. Kidney donors must have a compatible blood type with the recipient. The RH factor, plus or negative, of blood does not matter or positive or negative of blood does not matter in a transplant. Okay. The following blood types are compatible. Donors with blood type A, which is what I have, I'm A positive, can donate to recipients with blood types A and AB. Donors with blood type B can donate to recipients with blood types B and AB. Donors with blood type AB can donate to recipients with blood type AB only. Donors with blood type O, which is what Patrick is, he's O positive, can donate to recipients with blood types A, B, AB, and O. And again, O is the universal donor. Donors with O blood are compatible with any other blood type, which is great. But if you have an O blood type, here's where this comes in. Recipients with a blood type O or with blood type O can receive a kidney from blood type O only, directly. So if you wanted to donate to Patrick directly, you have to be O negative, O positive. Okay. Recipients with blood type A can receive a kidney from blood types A and O. Those with B from B and O, and those who have an AB can receive, or recipients with a blood type AB can receive a kidney from blood types A, B, AB, and O. AB is the universal recipient. Recipients with AB blood are compatible with any other type. Okay, so that's important for people to know before they go into the process what to expect. Because if you're not an O blood type, you can't donate to Patrick directly. But what we talked about before, the paired kidney exchange program, that is still on the table, and that's the next thing that I want to talk about. Is there anything you want to mention before I get into that, Patrick?
No, that pretty much covers it. That is I just don't want people to be put off not to be a donor. First of all, because there's many people who need that. I mean, and my statistics that I heard was not the 100,000 people need kidneys, but 600,000 people need.
Wow.
In the United States.
So, I mean, the need is significant, guys.
But the good thing is that means there's 321 million people in the United States that can possibly give a kidney.
Right. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this is to educate people about the fact that they can be a living donor. They don't have to mark it on the back of their license and wait until they die. You can donate now if you're healthy enough. And that's why you get in touch with Patrick's kidney outreach coordinator, who's located at the Henry Ford Transplant Institute. Okay, ALICIA LANDRUM. And there's the number scrolling at the bottom of the screen, 1-313-651-1056. Get in touch with her. She can answer any question you have about this. She can talk to you, even if you know ahead of time you're not blood type compatible with Patrick, you can talk to her about the paired kidney exchange program at the Henry Ford Transplant Institute, and she'll talk to you about that. Now, do you know if at that institute, if there is a regular, like you have your kidney outreach coordinator, and if there's a paired kidney exchange coordinator, or is it one and the same?
I think it's one and the same.
Okay, because at Georgetown University Hospital, which is where I donated, there were two distinct positions. You had the regular kidney coordinator and the paired kidney exchange coordinator. So, but anyways,
they do have a full team. They have many people involved in doing this. So it would not surprise me if they do have multiple people being one or the other. Absolutely. But as far as my coordinator goes and that website URL, that should put you in place to be a donor for anything anyways.
Absolutely. And so that's very important to know, guys. But you just get in touch with his transplant coordinator, and she'll give you all the information you need and get the ball rolling on that. So here we go. I want to read this information real quick. Now, if blood types are not compatible, the donor will not be able to donate directly to you. For instance, if you have anything but an O blood type, you will not be able to donate directly to Patrick. However, the donor may consider, let me highlight this, donating through a paired exchange program. Paired exchange programs allow you to get a kidney from another donor who is not a match for their intended recipient. Paired exchange involves two living donors and two recipients. If the recipient from one pair is compatible with the donor from the other pair, and vice versa, the transplant center may arrange for a swap for two simultaneous transplants to take place. This allows two transplant candidates to receive organs and two donors to give organs through the original recipient/donor pairs were unable to do so with each other. So you see how this works? So in this case, you see that, okay? So you would be, if you're not blood type compatible with Patrick, you would be paired with him, and then the hospital would look for another pair, and then you as the donor would donate to the recipient from the other pair, and the donor from the other pair would donate to Patrick. And so it's a cross match. And this is an awesome thing because it enables you to still help Patrick even if you can't donate to him directly. It gives you more options. And so I would, again, get in touch even if you know, okay, I can't donate to him directly because, say, I have an A positive blood type like I do. If you have that, or you have B or AB, you can still help him by getting tested. And if you're healthy enough, and they will not approve you unless you're healthy enough. The donor team, see, here's how it works. You are given a donor team. Patrick has a recipient team. The recipient team doesn't communicate with the donor, and the donor team doesn't communicate with the recipient. Okay, so, but your donor team consists of a living donor coordinator, maybe a paired kidney exchange coordinator like we were talking about before, a social worker, a donor advocate, nurses, doctors. You'll talk to the surgeon that's going to be doing the surgery. So it's very comprehensive. They take very good care of you. They will not approve you if they feel like it's a danger to you. They care very much for the health of the donor. And I know this because I got tested and I was healthy enough. This was back in 2011 at a hospital in New York City, but they did not approve me because they didn't feel like I was ready. They felt I was too young and I didn't have health insurance at the time. Make sure you guys have health insurance. That improves your chances of being approved as a donor. I can tell you that right now. Not every hospital requires it, but it's preferred. Okay. And you can talk to ALICIA LANDRUM, the kidney transplant coordinator at Henry Ford Transplant Institute, Patrick's transplant coordinator, about that. Ask her any questions you have. Believe me, she'll answer them for you. So I want to now share this page real quick. Let's go to, and this is more information about that. So let me do this real quick. Share screen. Okay. And we're going to go to, let me see, is that, this is the one I want. Okay, great. Okay, so you see on the screen, let's make sure it's there. It's there. This is from a website called the National, and I encourage everyone to check this out. This is from the National Kidney Donation Organization. Okay, you see paired match at the top of the screen in big bold letters. Have you been unable to donate to a loved one because your blood types or antigens are incompatible? Okay, and then you scroll down, and the link to this page is in the description section of the video. Okay, all these pages that I've shown so far are in the description section of the video. Check them out. Blood type incompatible, not a match. You see that. If you have been unable to donate to a loved one because your blood types or antigens are incompatible, please consider a kidney paired exchange. And we've talked about that. So you can read more information here about it. Again, the link is in the description section of this video. This will give you more information about it. And I would encourage you to check out this website in and of itself. Go to the homepage. The homepage is also in the description section of the video. You scroll down, you see new kidney patients added every month. 3,150 according to this website. 13 people die every day waiting for a kidney. Received kidneys, this was in 2019, 24,273, and currently awaiting a kidney, 100,791. So no matter what the numbers are, it's over 100,000. Whether it's 100,000, 600,000, it's a lot of people that are in need of a kidney transplant. And I want to mention this. It's very important that, yes, Patrick could receive a kidney from a cadaver, so a dead person, but it's not as healthy and it won't last as long as a living kidney donor's kidney. Okay. On average, this is a statistic I've seen and I've heard. The average lifespan, we'll say, the average length of time that a cadaveric kidney lasts is about 8 years. The average lifespan for a living kidney donor kidney is 20 years. Now, I think those are pretty accurate based on the people I've spoken with at the hospitals that I've been involved with, that I've been connected to, as well as recipients and donors and whatnot. So, I've talked to a lot of people, and these are the averages I've been given. So you see the significant difference and benefit. Let me scroll of donating as a living kidney donor for the person who's in need of a living kidney. And this brother needs a kidney transplant. He will die without it. I'm just going to be blunt. He will die without it. He needs it. I know 2 people personally, one of which I interviewed, who died waiting for a kidney transplant. Now, I don't believe that's going to happen to Patrick. The Lord is with him. Not that the Lord wasn't with him, but I don't think it's his time. But I'm just saying, this is nothing to play around with. This is not a game. It's not a joke. It's very, very serious. And this man is as important as anyone else. He's made in the image of God. He has the same value and worth as anyone else does. He needs your help. So please get tested. And I say it's like this, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you were in his situation, what would you want someone to do? You would want someone to come forward and get tested. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing that. The next option is this. This is the third option, and one that people don't know that much about, because I didn't know about it. And this was after me pursuing kidney donation for 10 and a half years. I only found out about this the year that I ended up donating. And I'm going to pull this page up on the screen. And this is what's called the voucher program. And this is such an awesome program. It is such an awesome program. Let me make sure. Let's see. Yep. So there you go. Info about the voucher program. Now, what this program is, I'm going to read it and then I'm going to explain, give clarification. But this is a third possible way that you can help Patrick get a life-saving kidney. Now, the voucher program, also referred to as advanced donation, and this is the way I donated, is a kidney paired exchange separated in time. When a donor donates as part of the ADP, either a standard voucher or family vouchers will be provided based on the situation. Now, for a standard voucher, that would be for someone like Patrick, who's not family, who's in immediate need of a kidney transplant. And that's what you'd be focused on in terms of helping Patrick. Now, for family vouchers, that's for your family in the future in case something happens, in case one of them develops end stage renal disease and they need a kidney transplant down the road. You can get a voucher, say right now, and 5 years from now, you can use that voucher. They can, or actually your family member would use it, and you can get up to 5 for family, but your focus is the standard voucher for Patrick. Okay. When a donor donates for an intended recipient like Patrick, who will likely need a transplant within the next year, a standard voucher will be provided for that one recipient. Standard vouchers can also be provided when a chain breaks and a donor continues with their donation to keep a portion of their chain on schedule, even though their paired recipient has been removed from that chain. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean by a chain? And I'm going to take this off the screen. No, I'm going to leave it on. I'm going to leave it on the screen because there's more information I want to show. A chain is a kidney chain. So that can be up to, I've heard, 6 people who can get a kidney through a kidney chain, maybe more than that. And so what you do is you go into the hospital. For instance, if you're approved, like I was at Georgetown University Hospital, or you're approved at Patrick's Hospital, okay, what the Henry Ford Transplant Institute, you would go in, you'd set up a time and a date to go in and donate your kidney to someone you've never met, you know nothing about them. This is what's called a non-directed or an altruistic donation. And then a voucher would be given to Patrick, and he'd be able to redeem that voucher, and he would be put at the top of the transplant list, and he would get a kidney within a short period of time. Okay, and that's what I did. I was paired with someone through the Paired Kidney Exchange Program or the Paired Exchange Program at Georgetown University Hospital, but that person who I was paired with ended up getting a kidney from another hospital she was a patient at, because you can be listed at multiple hospitals. She was a patient at like 4 or 5 different hospitals. The hospital she got the kidney from was Temple University Hospital in Philadelphia. So then I was looking for someone else to help. And when I told the Paired Kidney Exchange Coordinator at Georgetown, because again, that person knows nothing about the recipient. She only deals with the donor in this case. When I told her what happened and that I was no longer paired with that person because they got a kidney, she said, well, you can come into the hospital and you can donate directly to someone else. And I said, okay, great. I'll keep that in mind. Right now, though, I really want to try to connect with someone who I'll know who I can help. I really wanted to know the person I was going to help, even if whether it's paired kidney or as a direct donation. That was just something that was on my heart. So one thing led to another, and I ended up connecting with this woman who ended up getting placed as a patient at Georgetown, because you have to be healthy enough. You have to be sick enough, but at the same time, not too sick in order to receive a kidney transplant. If you're too sick, they won't do the transplant. So she was sick enough to be placed as a patient, but healthy enough to receive a kidney transplant. So, but unfortunately, well, I'm not going to say at the time it was unfortunate, but I wasn't able. I was getting tested for her, and one thing led to another, and it just didn't work out. But I said, you know what? I want to help you. And what you have to understand is that if you're a donor, if you get tested, you've got about a year's eligibility for all of your results to be good before you have to get retested. Okay. This is what I was told. So my time of eligibility was running out. So I told her, look, I've got to move forward and be a donor. So I'm going to go into the hospital and I'm going to donate altruistically to someone I don't know, but I'm going to find out if there's a way that I can help you. And that's when I found out about the voucher program. And we ended up signing contracts, both her and I agreed that I would donate altruistically. And then in response to that, as a result, she would get a voucher and she'd be put at the top of the kidney transplant list. And in a short period of time, she would get a kidney. And that's what happened. Okay. And I praise God for that, because I didn't just help 2 people. I donated as a part of a chain. So that's what all that talk about, a chain breaking. Even if the chain breaks, you'll still be able to use the voucher. So you can help Patrick and someone else directly, and up to 6 people, because you're donating as a part of a chain. Even if it breaks, say a chain is 6 people and it breaks, you'll be able to help up to 3 people. Okay. So it's a powerful program, and I want you guys to check this out. It's right on the screen. The link is in the description section of this video. If you scroll down, this is what Patrick was talking about in terms of getting help and work and all that. You have all these links, how we help and support living kidney donors. So if you've donated, you want to click on that. We are your safety net. We provide donation life insurance. We provide donation disability insurance. We provide lost wage reimbursement. We provide travel and lodging reimbursement. We provide financial protection. We provide reimbursement for travel, lodging, and lost wages for donor complications. We provide legal support. We listen to you. We make the process easier. Check this page out, guys. Scroll down the page. Click on all the links. But again, because this is another option for you to help Patrick. If you can't donate to him directly and you're like, I want to donate as a paired kidney exchange donator, but if I can donate to even more than just one person and help Patrick, in addition to that, if I can donate to a chain, I want to do that. So this is an option for that. I'm just giving you options on how you can help Patrick and even help other people at the same time. Even though the focus of this, we want to help Patrick. So take a look at this page, scroll down, and again, you see the information scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Get in touch with his transplant coordinator, ALICIA Landrum, RN, Kidney Outreach Coordinator at Henry Ford Transplant Institute. The number is there, 1-313-651-1056. And last, I want to share this page, okay? This is a form that on the website, on the Henry Ford Transplant Institute, links that you can check out. Let me share this page. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so you see on here, you want to visit this page, and this link is also in the description section of the video. Okay, so Henry Ford Living Donor Program, Breeze Transplant Online Health History Questionnaire, because you have to fill out a questionnaire before you're going to proceed, before they decide to move forward with any physical testing. Please answer all questions truthfully, accurately, and completely, as the information provided here will be used by our living donor team to detect any medical conditions that may affect your ability to be a living donor. This questionnaire is confidential. Only health professionals on the living donor team will use this information. This information will not be shared with the transplant candidate or others. So you see here, click here. That's the living kidney donor option. You want to click on that. And again, start off, though, I would say, start off with talking to the transplant coordinator. You know, when I've had the option of filling out the questionnaire first and then talking to the transplant coordinator, or vice versa, I always talk to the transplant coordinator first. So do that, and then they'll have you fill out the questionnaire, and you'll go from there. And then if you're in the area, Mount Clemens, you're able to go and get tested. You can go directly into the hospital and have every test done in pretty much one day. If you're not in the area, if you're, say, in New York State like I am, but you want to help Patrick, or you're in another state and you can't get there for the beginning phase of testing, which would be blood collection and urine collection, then they would send you a kit. You would go to a lab in your area. It could be at your local hospital or a separate lab that's connected to a network of labs, and you would have the testing done there, and then they would send the results, or maybe you would send the results to his hospital, the Henry Ford Transplant Institute, and then they would determine if you can move forward as a kidney donor. Or then they would determine if you're healthy enough or the blood type is right or whatever. Then you would come into the hospital and you would do all the diagnostic tests, chest X-ray, the EKG, all the stuff I read. You'd have the psychiatric evaluation, but that's how it typically works. So to get started, call the number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. They'll have you fill out the questionnaire, and you'll go from there. But anything you want to mention, Patrick, because we're wrapping this up now. I wanted to get this done. I don't want to hold you up too much. We're at 53 minutes in. So is there anything you want to say?
Nothing much, except for God bless everybody, and thank you for your help, Pastor Nick. And the fact is that there is such a high success rate for these kidney transfers and everything, that things should, by all means go well. And it will make the world of difference, obviously, to my need and others that you may help. And it is just very important for people to do that. I myself am to understand that when I get the kidney transfer and they even find a donator for me, it may take a little while. It's not a drive-through type of operation or placement. It takes a little time for us to get familiar, for them to do the testing. And so it can take even a while for me to get that kidney if you decide to do it even today, this minute. And so it's important to do it as soon as possible, possibly, if you decide to, because who knows what will be happening in a year's time from now with me. But it is greatly appreciated, any help that you can give anybody, to anybody, even if it's not to me directly, to somebody else. It is appreciated.
Absolutely. So guys, again, the information and again, Patrick's blood type is O positive, the information to get tested, who to contact, ALICIA LANDRUM, the transplant coordinator, is scrolling in the ticker tape at the bottom of the screen. Give her a call. The links to all the pages. So you're talking about the blood type compatibility page, information about kidney donation, the general information. That page is in the description section of this video. The paired kidney exchange information, which is on the blood type incompatibility or compatibility page, that information's on there, and it's also on the other website that I showed. Check that out, and I have it labeled appropriately, so you'll see it. And then the voucher program information, link to that page is also in the description section. And again, check out all the information on there. It's very, very helpful. And if you want to get in touch with Patrick, you can get in touch with me through the Compassion Match page, Facebook page. I have a link to that in the description section of this video. I will put you in touch with Patrick directly, and maybe you want to communicate with him before you contact.
I would love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you see, he's open to that. He would love that. That's beautiful. Maybe you want to communicate with him right before you get in touch with his transplant coordinator, or you want to get in touch with his transplant coordinator first and then contact him. But either way, get in touch with me, and I will put you in touch with him, and we'll get the ball rolling on you connecting with him and then getting tested, or getting tested and then connecting with him. But either way, guys, thank you for tuning in. Get tested, please, for this brother, because I believe in Jesus' name you're going to get a kidney, brother. And but get tested for him. Thank you for tuning in. Pray for him. Keep him in your prayers. God bless you guys. And I have another broadcast coming up this Monday. I'm going to be interviewing someone else who is also in need of a kidney transplant. So, but anyways, God bless you. Thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Nick, and everybody. Have a nice day.